What's going on, YouTube? I'm back, and I couldn't be happier about the fact that I'm back. Before we start this video, I want to first tell every person who decided to subscribe to the channel, even though I only uploaded 2 videos about TOEFL within the past 3 years. So thank you for your support. It means a lot. It means everything to me when it comes to this YouTube thing that I want to pursue. So thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. I am back in America now. I used to live and work in China, but I am back. So I will be uploading videos about TOEFL and other English related content every single day. That's my goal. That's my promise to you. Okay. Now in today's video, we're going to go over a set of independent speaking questions. So tasks 1 and task 2. All right. Here are the questions. Please open up your notebooks, get a piece of paper, and also a pen or pencil in hand so you guys can write them down. Here they are. Okay, so the first question, task 1. What was your favorite class in middle school? Now, you should notice right away that you should be speaking in the past tense for this question because it's asking you what you liked when you were younger, when you were in middle school. Now, the beginning sentence for this question is going to be this. Out of all the classes in middle school, I can say with the utmost confidence that physical education was my favorite one. So for a question that wants you to talk about a class, subject, and course, which is a synonym of class, your opinion is going to be physical education, PE, okay? Now, the 2 reason sentences, they should be very simple, by the way. Try to organize them in this fashion. Subject, verb, adjective. The verb in between the subject and adjective are going to be be verbs. So is, was, will be, are, were, or just, past tense, present tense, future tense. You got to think about those things as well. But anyways, here are the 2 reasons. The first reason, this class was very helpful. So this class, subject, was, be verb, helpful, adjective. The second reason, physical education, or PE, whatever you're more comfortable with, was also enjoyable. So that's the second reason. Now, the 2 detailed sentences that I would like to say for these reasons are, number 1, it allowed me to become healthier, stay active, and get in better shape. For the second detail, I'm going to say, I was able to hang out with my friends by playing sports during this class. Okay, so those are the only sentences that you need to have organized to spend the 45 seconds of speaking efficiently and with no struggles, to be honest. Now I'm going to give you my sample response, but I got to get my laptop, so hang tight. Okay guys, I brought my laptop, so I'm going to give you my sample response. But before I start, I just want to mention that for task 1 and task 2, you have 45 seconds to speak, but in the real test, if you didn't know, you're given 15 seconds of preparation, which is not enough to any extent. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. So the key to mastering task 1 and task 2 questions would be to review. Let's be honest. Reviewing is obviously an indispensable component to studying and getting good scores or good grades. So yeah, you got to review a lot so that you know many responses for particular questions. And as I said before, most independent speaking questions share similarities, okay? They have similar parts, even though they may appear to be very different. So when you're actually memorizing one response for one question, you might actually be preparing yourself for 3 or 4 questions because, like I said, they have similarities. So don't feel so bothered or don't feel so mad that you're memorizing something for task 1, because you're not just doing it for one question. You're actually killing several birds with one stone. So it's worth it, okay? Now, here's my sample response. Out of all the classes in middle school, I can say with the utmost confidence that physical education was my favorite one. First of all, thanks to the experiences I've had, I realized that this class was very helpful. I believe this to be true mainly due to the fact that it allowed me to become much healthier, stay active, and get in better shape. On top of this, physical education was also really enjoyable. In my perspective, this remains true to me since I was able to hang out with my friends by playing sports with them during this class. Therefore, I definitely think that physical education was my favorite class in middle school for these two reasons. Okay, and I have 2 seconds left, which is no problem whatsoever. Now, when you're answering the task 1 and task 2 speaking questions, you need to check how many seconds you have left after you're done saying the second detail. So the sentence that follows your second reason. Or if it's easier for you to remember, before the ending statement. Look at the time before the ending statement or after you're done with the second detail. Now, when you only have about 5 or fewer seconds left, don't say the ending statement. That might be safer. But if you have way more than 5 seconds left, you're probably going to be inclined to say the ending statement because you have so much time left. Okay? All right, now let's go over to task 2. All right, here's the task 2 question, just in case you forgot. Do you prefer to buy pre-made meals or prepare your own food? Buy pre-made meals or prepare your own food? Now for this question, the beginning sentence will be, if I really have to make a choice between buying pre-made meals and preparing my own food, I would honestly prefer the former or latter. Former being the one before and the latter being the one after and, okay? Now for this question, we're gonna pick the latter. We're gonna pick the former because we're gonna choose to buy pre-made meals or say that we prefer to do that, okay? Now, just hear me out. We're picking buying pre-made meals because in my mind, there are many different downsides to cooking your own food or preparing your own food. Some of them would be this. Number 1, takes a lot of time. Number 2, we'll have to do the dishes afterwards. And number 3, maybe you're not good at cooking. Now, since I have so many different details that I can say to pretty much criticize preparing my own food, I'm gonna pick purchasing pre-made meals because one of those downsides can turn into the upside of the other choice, okay? So what I'm getting at is when you understand a task 2 question that's asking what do you prefer or what do you think is better, try to think of the negative aspects of the choices before you start thinking about the positive aspects. Now, this isn't a normal train of thought. You're gonna have to practice doing it. And I advise you to do so because coming up with the upside of anything that you prefer initially is very simple. On the other hand, thinking of a downside for any choice might be a little bit more difficult. So do the thing that's more difficult first before getting to the obvious part. Okay, so that's the beginning sentence. The 2 reasons are going to be this. First reason, purchasing pre-made meals is beneficial. So we use the synonym, purchasing. The second reason, let's say, cooking my own food can be detrimental. Once again, a synonym instead of preparing, let's say cooking. Only do this if you can think of the synonyms pretty quickly. You don't have to burden yourself with doing this. Your fluency shouldn't take a hit because you couldn't think of a synonym very, very quickly. So when you're brainstorming and you can't think of a synonym, just repeat the word, okay? It's better than making your fluency suffer, okay? All right, now let's go over to the details. First detail, doing so enables me to save a ton of time, energy, and effort. So that's the first detail. Most of the time for the first detail, task 2 questions, first detail, you're gonna say doing so enables so-and-so too. So that's another fixed sentence. Now, the second detail, I usually don't have time in the morning to cook lunch and take it to school. So that's the second detail because as students, what would your own meal be? The one that you cook, probably lunch, okay? All right, now I'm gonna give you my sample response. Once again, I'll go and get my laptop, so hang tight. All right, here's my sample response. If I really have to make a choice between buying pre-made meals and preparing my own food, I would honestly prefer the former. To begin with, the first thing that came to my mind as I read this question is that purchasing pre-made meals is beneficial. This is mainly due to the fact that doing so enables me to save a ton of time, energy, and effort. In addition, another reason that supports my opinion is that cooking my own food can be detrimental. This notion makes perfect sense to me since I usually don't have much time in the morning to cook lunch and take it to school. As a result, I definitely prefer to buy pre-made meals for these two reasons. Okay, so I had about a second left after I said for these two reasons for this response, which once again is not a concern, but it may be smarter to leave at least about 2 or 3 seconds left when you're done with saying whatever you wanted to say, just to make sure that the ending part of your response is never really interrupted by the time limit, okay? So it'd be safer to leave about 2 or 3 seconds left when you're done. All right, so those were the questions that I wanted to cover today. Please rewatch this video several times until you become very familiar with the content that I just showed you guys. But most importantly, as I said, it's going to be up to you to improve your speaking fluency. That's going to be your responsibility because it takes time and effort. There are shortcuts, especially when it comes to answering TOEFL speaking questions, but when it comes to speaking fluency in general, it takes a lot of rinsing and repeating. It takes a lot of trial and error, and most importantly, it takes a lot of dedication and consistency, which means time well spent. All right, now, before we end this video, I want to tell you guys what your 3 responsibilities are for tonight and, up until the next video comes out. Number 1, make sure that you practice organizing the beginning sentences, okay? I showed you guys 2 beginning sentences in the speaking template that I came up with on my own for task 1 and task 2. Once again, rewind the video if you need to jot it down. You didn't have a chance to write it down before. Rewind it, take it down, and practice, okay? Like I said, look at many different independent speaking questions and challenge yourself to organize the beginning sentences for those questions fairly quickly. I know that it's not something that you're going to become comfortable with in just one day. So be patient. I'm telling you, be patient. Expect that you're going to have difficulties doing this on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and even 10th try. Expect that. Because if you expect difficulties, you'll be able to overcome them eventually instead of becoming flustered and stressed out. Second responsibility. I want you guys to start memorizing the speaking template that I showed you guys. The earlier you memorize it, the better you'll be able to use it in the future. And in the real test, you gotta make sure that the speaking template that I gave you, that I created on my own a long time ago, you gotta make sure that those sentences sound like your organic sentences, okay? They gotta sound so free-flowing and natural that the grader doesn't assume or accuse you of using a speaking template. All right, that's pretty much the standard to getting a good speaking score. Fluency and naturalness, okay? Last but not least, number 3, what I want you guys to do for tonight is record yourselves. Record your own speaking response. This is something that not a single one of my students enjoyed doing. And that's mostly because when you listen to your own speaking, you start feeling very embarrassed. You get like goosebumps because you're cringing. And so it just doesn't make you feel good inside and outside. But that's because you objectively believe that the way you sound isn't so appealing to the ears. So another thing that you definitely need to do is criticize yourself. Give yourself constructive criticism. Really be honest with yourself. Be like, yo, why am I so discontent with the way I speak? Why is this kind of feeling inhabiting me? I feel so uncomfortable. Tell yourself what the problem is. Fix it. Record again. Do it again. Do it again. Another one. Do it until you can listen to your own response without getting too many goosebumps on your skin, okay? Until you're kind of satisfied, until you think you're doing a good job, a decent job, because then you'll actually be doing a great job. If you yourself can tell yourself that you're doing a great job, you are doing a great job. No ifs or buts, because most of the time we are our harshest critics, okay? So those are your 3 responsibilities that I want you to do whenever you have free time, but don't forget about them, okay? Until next time, guys, I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna be uploading videos every single day, so subscribe if you haven't, but only subscribe if you felt that my videos were helpful, and hit the like button if you thought that, you liked the video, obviously, and don't forget to turn on the notifications button. All right, guys, until next time, please be safe, stay healthy, be nice to those around you, and I'll catch you later.